Mitt Romney has sided with the Democrats and against President Trump regarding mail-in voting. CNN takes heat for a bizarre cancer screening promotion. Plus, are viewers tuning in to watch the ultra-woke NBA? We'll take a look. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with President Trump because it's not only the Democrats and the media that he's driving crazy. We also have comments coming out from our favorite Republican. Now, this all started, this issue with President Trump. He got on Twitter last week, as I covered on Friday, and he tweeted about mail fraud, this mass mail-in voting effort that's being pushed by the Democrats. He was talking about how bad it was, and he caused a firestorm. And it all started with this tweet. With universal mail-in voting, not absentee voting, which is good, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote? So that's the question he asked. It's a good question to consider, considering what the Democrats want to do, what they want to push, even though we can safely vote. That's what's so outrageous, and I'll get to that in a second. But following that tweet, the media freaked out. President Trump held a press conference, and he talked about a host of issues, coronavirus, the economy, you name it. Threw it open for questions. They focused on that. They focused on his tweet, and here's what he said.
And you see what's happening with so many different places. They're doing even trial runs. They're a disaster. And I don't want to see an election. You know, so many years I've been watching elections. And they say the projected winner or the winner of the election. I don't want to see that take place in a week after November 3rd or a month.
So at that press conference, during the Q&A, the president cited all sorts of news stories, including one from the Washington Post, talking about voter fraud, this mail-in voting, all the problems that can happen, ballots getting sent to different places, multiple ballots arriving, ballots never showing up, you name it, stories have covered it. The Democrats know this, the media know this. There was one story he brought up. It's a CBS affiliate in Philadelphia. They did an experiment. They sent out 100 mock ballots in the mail, set up a P.O. box as a mail collection. A few days later, they sent out another batch of ballots. Here's what happened when the reporter went to the post office to check on his mail.
When we went to collect everything, though,
Nothing? No.
most of our votes seem to be lost.
That's all I have back there right now. That's nothing.
You're short, huh? You're totally short. I believe in you.
All right, then. Have a good day.
So nothing? Have a good day? That's what this guy is told. He's going to check on presumably ballots from this experiment, and he can't even find them. So then he goes and checks with the manager.
We had to ask for a manager
I'm trying to do something about mail-in ballots.
and explain ourselves before someone finally found our votes.
Then have me somewhere else.
Okay, thank you.
So they were found, but can you imagine if this was for real? If you had a real election and ballots are missing and people are wondering what's going on, the election's close, and then all of a sudden someone comes up, oh yeah, we found them. Here you go. Give me a break. So the reporter summed up the experiment like this.
21% of our votes hadn't materialized after 4 days. And the batch we'd mailed a week prior, some of those were missing too.
And that's just one small experiment, folks. That goes along with, again, documented story after story after story of the problems with mass mail-in voting. It's fraudulent. They disappear. Ballots disappear all the time. Or the other situation where ballots just reappear. They just appear out of nowhere. They think the vote's counted. They think the election's done. They think someone's won. Oh, wait, hold on. All of a sudden, we found some ballots. Let's count those, and the election changes. This has happened, folks. It's been documented, yet the media, the Democrats, they all freak out just because President Trump talks about it. Well, guess who else is a fan? Our Republican friend, Mitt Romney. CNN's Manu Raju caught up with Mitt Romney about this thing, about mail-in voting. Turns out Mitt Romney's a fan. Senator Mitt Romney defended mail-in voting, saying it works extremely well. The great thing about it is that you have a paper document that if you need to do a recount, you don't have to worry about machines having been tampered with. Are you kidding me? You don't have to worry about machines being tampered with. It's the paper ballots, it's mail-in voting that causes the big problems. We've seen it. We did a news story where a whole batch was sent to a different state. People getting tons of ballots. People getting ballots who should not be voting. But now they can, and there won't be any way to document it once that's sent in. The Democrats know this. The media knows this. I bet Mitt Romney knows this. So Raju asked him again some more follow-up questions. Here's what Romney said. Romney added, "So I'm a fan of voting by mail. Secondly, of course, we are going to have an election on time. It's unthinkable that that would not be the case." I asked if he could vote for Biden or who he would vote for, and he said he wouldn't reveal that yet. So this guy is so lame. Wouldn't reveal that yet? I wish he would just join the Democrats, because anytime President Trump says something, Mitt Romney says the opposite, and not only says the opposite, but then runs to a microphone. Hey, look at me. President Trump's over there. I'm over here with you guys. We're all friends. Quote me. Put me on TV. I'm being anti-Trump. It is so lame. He won't even say who he's voting for. And that's what gets me more than anything. Because we're talking about the presidency. The Republican nominee for president and a Republican senator won't even say who he votes for. We need the presidency, folks. If we don't have a Republican in office, it does not matter if we have the House and Senate. Nothing will get passed. Nothing will get done. We need the power of the presidency, and we've got people like Mitt Romney playing games. It's absolutely outrageous. So next, I want to talk about CNN. But first, if you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified. We're making our push for 100,000 subscribers by Election Day. 100K by Election Day, and we can do it with your help. All right, so let's talk about CNN, because they put out a promotion. This is cancer screening for women. Oops, I'm sorry. Cancer screening for individuals with a cervix. I need to correct myself because that's how CNN phrased it. That's how they phrased it in their promotion about cervical cancer screening. And here's their tweet. Individuals with a cervix are now recommended to start cervical cancer screenings at 25 and continue through age 65 with HPV testing every 5 years as a preferred method of testing, according to a new guideline released by the American Cancer Society. So this message about cervical cancer screening, it isn't just for women, even though women are the only one with a cervix. This is also for men with cervixes too. Cervixes? Cervi? I don't even know. But this is the kind of society that we live in, where a man can have a cervix. A man can be in need of cervical cancer screening, according to CNN and according to the left. So, of course, this was ridiculed up and down by the right because it's nonsensical. But CNN spokesman Matt Dornick, he followed up, he doubled down on this, and he tweeted this. Imagine feeling so threatened by inclusivity that you're compelled to write a story bashing another organization for practicing it. Threatened by inclusivity? I just love that. Every time the right brings up something about how outrageous, how dumb, how nonsensical the left is, they bring up that we are threatened by it somehow. We're not threatened by this. We think it's ridiculous. We think it's completely stupid. Look, it doesn't matter how much a man thinks he's a woman or wants to be a woman or feels he was born a woman. He's not. He will never be. A man will never have a cervix. A man will never need cervical cancer screening. I guarantee it. It's just outrageous. But we point it out and the left says, oh my gosh, you're threatened by this, aren't you? It's just outrageous. It's just talking points, folks. It's for them to strike back without actually debating the merits of saying individuals with a cervix. It's just dumb. They'll call you a racist. They'll call you a bigot. They'll say you're threatened, but they never actually debate the facts. It's just nuts. So next, we've got to talk about our friends over at Bottle Breacher. Folks, please check these guys out. They are absolutely awesome. Eli Crane's company, veteran-owned, American-made products. This is the best in man gifts, promotional items, groomsmen gifts. Just go to bottlebreacher.com. Use coupon code BOBBY13 for 15% off your next purchase. All right, we're going to talk about the NBA now because sports are back. Major League Baseball started a couple weeks ago. NBA started its season, and it brought out the wokeness. We've got mass anthem kneeling all across the board. We've got player jerseys with woke messages on the back. We've got warm-up t-shirts that say Black Lives Matter. Can't say all lives matter, but you can say Black Lives Matter. So are people tuning in? Are they tuning in to watch us because we've been just craving sports, something to watch on TV? Are they watching this? Here's the story. As the NBA and MLB return from their coronavirus-imposed hiatus, it appears TV viewers are not interested in what the increasingly woke leagues have to offer. With both baseball and basketball draped in all sorts of Black Lives Matter and social justice symbolism for their opening games, a substantially smaller number of fans tuned in to the rest of the week's games. So Ethan Strauss, who writes for The Athletic, he tweeted this to show some of the results. MLB really fell off after opening day. In general, both leagues aren't getting the audience one might expect from a nation that's been deprived of entertainment for months. Strauss also pointed out that you can't chalk this up to just coronavirus because people do tune in for sports that they want to see. You could chalk sagging interest up to pandemic conditions, but 5.8 million tuned in to watch Tom Brady hit golf shots into the woods. So Strauss is referring to a charity golf tournament, a dual match between Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning and Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. It actually received 6.3 million viewers, raised $20 million for charity as these teams battled it out. It was very entertaining. People tuned in, but they're tuning out the wokeness. They're tuning out all of this social justice stuff when people just want to watch sports. Now, one reply to Strauss's tweet, I think summed things up perfectly, and here it is. Tom Brady was having a fun day on the golf course. Tom Brady wasn't virtue signaling and lecturing Americans about racism. MLB, NBA, WNBA, NFL, etc. are politicized. Want your fans to return? Respect America, anthem, the flag, and the fans. I love it. I hope the viewers won't return until these guys straighten out. I am a sports fan. I'm an athlete. I love to watch sports, but I'm not watching this. I don't want social justice messages shoved down my throat, especially based on a lie. You can't watch ESPN. That's all political. You can't even watch sports now because it's all political. Everyone is bought in. No one will stand up for it, and it's just outrageous. Tune out, folks. Let them know. Hit them in the pocketbook. Hit them in the ratings because the message they're selling, the product that they're promoting is not something I want. I don't think it's something you want. Let's send them a message. All right. So next, let's see how that defund the police movement is working out. Because in city after city run by Democrats, things are out of control. They don't want law and order. They want the chaos. They let rioters and looters and vandals run amok without doing anything. So I always bring up Chicago, right? This weekend, 24 shot, 5 killed. That is one weekend in one city run by a Democrat. New York City has now had more shootings than all of 2019. It's absolutely outrageous. We saw in Seattle how crime spiked over 500% when Peaceful Chaz or CHOP was organized. The media presented it as so peaceful, crime spiked over 500%. And Portland, who's had 60 plus days of rioting and protests, how is that working out? Take a look. Portland recorded a higher number of homicides in July than they had during any 1 month period over the last 30 years, the Oregonian reported. The surge in crime comes after Portland City Council voted to cut over $15 million from the police budget. My response? What do you expect? What do you expect when you promote disorder, when you promote lawlessness, when you don't stand behind the police? Police are getting attacked here, folks. 60 plus days of nonstop riots and protests. These peaceful protesters, they come to these things wearing helmets, shields, weapons. They attack police, and they're framed as peaceful protesters. It's absolutely outrageous. Here's more. The homicide numbers come as the city also deals with a spike in assaults, burglaries, vandalisms, and shootings, according to the report. 15 people have been killed in Portland in July so far, bringing the total number of killings this year to 24. Shootings have more than doubled in July compared to last year, according to the report. The Portland Police's Gun Violence Reduction Team is one of several police units that was disbanded by City Council's budget cuts, which were passed last month. So you cut police funding, and this is what you get. You don't stand behind law and order. You promote chaos and anarchy. This is what you get. And I hope people will see this across the country. Folks, we are heading into a very critical election, and we have to see what the Democrats are doing. We have to show our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, look at these states, look at these cities run by Democrats. Is this what you want for the nation? Is this how the nation should act? Folks, before coronavirus and all of this stuff, the economy was roaring along. Unemployment was at record lows. Stock market was booming. All of this happens. Democrats seize on it. They don't want people to go to work. They don't want people to go to school. And they will let chaos and anarchy reign all the way until November, unless we do something about it. This is what we have to do. City after city, the stats are the same. It is not looking good, and it's up to us to fight back. Folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified, and we'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.